But yeah, thanks again for joining us on our second webinar. And our aim today is to really kind of build on top of the topic we covered last week, which was still in onboarding. And so last week we really kind of solved is how to get your lead to sign up, and then really how to guide their first experience in your business. And what we want to do today is kind of go over topics and tools on things that we can arm you and your staff with to better facilitate that sale, to get that lead to convert. And so there's a few things, kind of overarching topics that would help get that lead to convert. And that's what we'll cover today. So before we do that, there's a lot of things that we can cover in terms of how to convert. But what we'll cover today specifically will be just tools that you can use within PushPress, and then ways that you can optimize your landing page or different settings that we need to take note of in PushPress to be able to, again, facilitate that lead to convert. What we won't go over today will include like lead generation. There's just a ton of knowledge there, and a lot of different strategies that we can go over, but that's beyond our scope. There's a lot more, way more experienced people that can give you advice on how to generate leads. The other thing we won't cover today is how you handle that lead in terms of what your onboarding process is. Some gyms go through a foundation period, some go through some type of on-ramp or free consult, free lead. So there's just a bunch of different ways that you can go about that. And we can dive into that in a different webinar. But today we just really kind of keep it on what tools you can use immediately in the system to arm your staff to be able to convert and act on leads quick. So when you do receive a lead, there's a few things that you want to kind of take note of. So the purpose of this webinar today is to really cover some of those bigger topics or bigger tasks. So 4 things that we're going to be looking for today. When a lead comes in, you don't want to make them wait. So you want to be able to act on them as quick as possible. So as soon as the lead comes in, you want to get some type of notification to you and your staff to be able to quickly follow up. Second piece of that is designating somebody to follow up with them. So, in my gym, my business, we have a designated lead manager. Let me see what's going on here. It's in the chat. Oh, okay. Let's leave that down there. So we have a designated lead manager. So we know someone's responsible for it. It's one of those things where if everyone's responsible for it, no one's going to take responsibility for managing the lead. So we have a designated person who their sole job is to make sure as soon as the lead comes in, that the lead gets some type of response. Third thing that we'll try to accomplish today is to again, arm yourself with the tools to be able to allow your staff to work quickly. The longer that lead takes to be responded to, right? If it takes you an hour, 2 hours, a day to reply back to a lead, chances are you've lost some steam that you could have capitalized in the first 5 minutes. And the last bit is we want to figure out ways to make it easy for your staff or your coaches or trainers to be able to close a sale. So we're going to walk through an example in our test system here. So I'm going to switch screens. All right. So we're in your dashboard, or my test dashboard. And the first thing we're going to look at is our plans, right? So what you should have is a designated lead plan. So in this case, we offer a free week. And in the settings, you can set this up as a normal plan. The only couple of things that I would change, or the only one setting I would really change, is down here, making sure that this trial membership option is toggled to yes. This just tells the system as soon as someone signs up for this particular plan, they're going to be labeled as a lead in the system. And I'll show you where we can kind of track that and track the status of those. So once you have the plan settings in place, there's a very cool tool that I use at my facility, and I know a lot of other gyms and businesses rely on this particular app to help just facilitate communications and keep things moving quickly, and that is Slack. So we have a direct integration with Slack. For those of you guys that haven't used it before, I highly recommend it just because it allows you and your staff to communicate internally and to keep all your discussions categorized. So, the days of having to email all your staff and then all those topics kind of get intertwined. I'll show you what my Slack looks like in a bit. Actually, let's do that here. So let me switch over to the screen again. And so I just created a test Slack system here for my fake gym. But I'll show you even like what we're looking for, or what we do at my gym at Lincoln Park. So you can see I have a ton of different channels. And so what this allows us to do is keep our discussions focused, right? So just in terms of productivity, that's a really good tool to use. But I'll show you how we can utilize that today. All right, so let's just kind of speed through it in terms of, let's say you've created a Slack account and you've integrated it. If you don't know how to connect Slack to PushPress, we'll post a link on how to do that. Barry, if you're around, can you throw that help doc link in the chat for everyone? And again, if you guys need help with kind of going through any configuration stuff, definitely just hit us in the chat another time. We'll help you guys kind of help get all this stuff set up. Okay, so now we have Slack, and the way that we're going to use it today is anytime a lead gets generated, we're going to have that notification pushed to Slack, and that just allows for just kind of quick responses. So I'm going to go back to my plans here, and I'm going to sign up a lead. So I'm going to go through this landing page here. Okay, one second here. And I'm going to choose how fast this is, so I'm going to modify the screen size a bit. All right. Okay, so I have my Slack open in one screen, or one window, and then I have a landing page open in another window. Okay, so I'm going to enter a lead in here. Steve. So we're assuming at this point, this lead has visited your website, saw an ad, and they want to buy it, right? They want to check it out. So they're signing up. Enter a phone number, select birth date, and we are human. Cool. So before I click sign up, I want you to kind of take note how fast it is, right? So I hit sign up, and within seconds, I get that lead notification in my Slack. And so what this allows us to do is, say my lead manager has Slack, if they get the notification, they can click on the email if they wanted to, type in an email, right? They can even do the same thing, grab this phone number, enter in a text. So again, it allows you or your lead manager to really act on this as quick as possible, even just to start the discussion, right? Because you want to be able to capitalize on this lead's attention. And right now, when they sign up, you have, they're at their peak attention at that point, right? If you give it too much time, they're going to bounce, they're going to scroll down Facebook and go to something else. So this way, we can immediately initiate a conversation and then lead them down the right path, right? So now once they're in the system, we'll go back to our dashboard here. Let me resize some of this. All right, so we're on a dashboard. And so again, just as fast as that notification got to Slack, it also got to our lead list here. So from our dashboard, you can go to the people column and then just go to new leads. And so there's ways that you can kind of be more efficient with how you utilize this leads list. And so the way we kind of can dive into this is just kind of on a glance. We know when the lead came in, when the last activity was, and if they're assigned to somebody. So again, in this case, what we've kind of defined for my gym is as soon as the lead comes in, someone makes first contact, we'll go to the lead profile, take any notes here, and then we'll assign it to the right person. So in this case, I'll assign myself as who's responsible for this lead. And then the other big thing that's really useful is being able to kind of utilize these statuses to kind of denote where this lead is in your kind of sales funnel, right? So these are just stock statuses, but what's really important here is just how you define it, how your staff knows what each of these mean. So again, you can use it any way you want to. define it any way you want to. Just make sure your staff is on board with what each of these mean. So at my gym, new lead means we've or this lead has come in, but we haven't contacted them yet. Attempted, we define it as we've reached out, but we haven't heard back from that lead. Contacted now means we're in discussion, or we have two-way communication, right? We could be texting back and forth, shooting emails back and forth, or we got them on a phone call. In discussion, for our definition of this, we define that as they've signed up for a trial plan, right? They've taken a free class, or they're in our on-ramp program, something like that. And then the final two are kind of just pretty self-explanatory. Converted means they got into a membership, or disqualified means maybe they weren't the right fit, or we weren't the right fit for them. So just making sure that your staff knows what each of these mean. So that way, when you go back to this lead list and say the lead or your lead manager is kind of taking a look at this, they can see who's been contacted, who hasn't, when their last check-in was. So if I look down this list, Johnny Lead, they checked in already, right? So we can go to lead detail here and see, what the history is of where they're at in this lead list or lead process. And so that's what we can do in the system right now. And we'll kind of just fast forward that whole part of what your sales pitch is, what your onboarding process is, because we can spend hours on talking about how to best handle a lead in a sales console, or what the best onboarding practice is, whether it's a free class, foundations, on-ramps, those kinds of things. So now this lead has come to a point where we need to either present a sale or they're just out the door, right? So we'll go back to our dashboard here. And so what we're trying to do now is, again, arm your staff with ways that they can be faster and more efficient. Okay? So what I do is I've had all of my plans listed in a tablet. And the reason why I do that is to make the sign-up process super fast and super easy. So let's see. I'm going to grab these landing page links. I'm going to grab this link here. View plan info. Let's go ahead and grab this view page. Okay, so this is going to be the sign-up page. Now, we're not going to do anything here. All I want you to do is grab this URL up top and then bookmark it on your tablet, right? So we have a dedicated tablet for sales. So what we'll do is we'll have all of our landing pages on there. So when someone walks in, depending on what they want to jump into, we can pull up that landing page and they can sign it on the spot. So let me pull that up on my other screen here. Where are we at? Okay, cool. So this is exactly what I pull up on my tablet. As soon as someone comes in, they agree that going unlimited is the right course of action. So they're going to go in there and fill out some info. Who do we sign up, Steve? Lead. See if I put in the right phone number again. Birth date. Cool. And what the CAPTCHA, traffic lights, you are human. Let's see if I got that right. Sweet. Right, so hit sign up. Well, my button doesn't work on my tablet, but you get the idea, right? We'll go through the process here. All right. Sorry, guys, a little technical difficulty on that landing page. Whoops. I didn't put the discount here. Well, we're all over the place. So I'm not going to put a credit card in there because I don't want to get charged $150. But we're assuming that your lead does, right? So at that point, once you have that plan added, you can go back to your dashboard. We'll go back to your leads. And that particular lead should be automatically converted, right? So what we'll do in this case, let's go through that just manually. We'll assign this plan. 50. Let's hook them up with a discount so we don't charge them. And let's comp it. And so now if we go back through, if we go back to your leads list, now you should see Johnny was converted, right? So we don't see Johnny's name on here anymore. But if you go down to converted leads, boom. So this is ultimately where we want our leads to end up, is this section here. And so again, the ways that the different tools that we'd use is, or different concepts that we want to kind of achieve, are just being able to act quickly on leads as they come in, right? So again, with every lead, you'll get an email notification, but sometimes that can get lost in your inbox. You might get lost in the spam and whatnot. So Slack, I think, is a really, really useful tool to be able to make sure those notifications are pushed to you guys instantly, and then for your lead manager to act on it. And then the next biggest thing is to make sure that your lead manager knows how to follow up, right? Just making sure that there's a clear definition for each of these statuses. And then the final thing for whoever's running the sale is making sure it's easy for them to pull up the sign-up page. So again, having that tablet is key, because you can quickly reference what page or what plan they should be on, and then sign them up on the spot. So hopefully you guys got some good info from there. Again, we'll limit the discussion today on just kind of the tools in PushPress. But we'll follow up with in the coming weeks is any other integrations that we can use to kind of further keep this member as part of your gym, right? And so there's a lot of other strategies, a lot of other solutions that we can plug into PushPress. But for now, the main things to take away: be able to act quickly on leads, and then make it easy to sign up for your staff. So with that, let's go ahead and kind of dive into any questions. Let me take a look at the chat. A second here. All right, so let's see what we got in the chat. I haven't been able to check in here. Okay, so no questions yet, guys. So does anyone have any best practices that they've been that utilize at your facility that we can help capitalize on those two topics of speed and ease? Or if you have any questions on what we've just covered today, just throw them in the chat. Otherwise, Barry, you've owned a few gyms in the past. How does this workflow kind of fall in line with what you've done?
So that follows, right along with the way I've used the system with it.
Where's Barry?
Am I unmuted?
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Can you hear me? Oh, come on.
Let's see, manage participants. All right, Barry, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
No. All right, I think Barry's shy today. Okay, so we can wrap up today's presentation. Short and sweet, and I think these are just really effective tools to be able to convert leads. And again, going forward, what we'll do is we'll expand on some of these topics. Again, if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat. We'll have a playback for this along with some of the resources that we listed. We'll have that in blog form, hopefully by tomorrow, so that way you guys can go in the weekend if you guys need to retool some of your lead process. You'll have the weekend to do that. That's it. All right, guys. So I hope you guys picked up some good things. And again, just keep us informed on what you guys want to hear. We'll be launching these every week, so the topic will rotate. And what we want to kind of do is use this as a forum to kind of better guide what you guys need from us. Whether that be in features in PushPress, different strategies you guys are currently using that we may not be able to support just yet. So just keep us in the loop there, and really just help us kind of develop this platform together, guys. All right. That's it. Happy Thursday.